So I mean, yeah, this kind of changes everything. So as many of you guys know, the Cologne Major has now been officially available to players for the last couple of weeks. This didn't release in typical fashion where we get capsules, released with a brand new lineup of features that we've never seen before within CS's history. Capsules are now gone, you can buy the stickers individually with dynamic pricing on the shop. But with that, prices have been more broken than ever before. And some of it's Valve's fault, but also it's not. Just within the last couple of days, ever since NRG lost to Big with the greatest comeback in Counter-Strike history, their stickers shot up well above the Steam daily transaction limit, which obviously limited players to what they could and couldn't buy. For some people, if you wanted to buy this sticker off the shop from Valve, it wasn't actually feasible to buy it because of how broken things were. You also can't sell anything above $2,000, so even if you got this sticker, you couldn't even profit from it on Steam. You bought it because you wanted it. But also a very common theme that many people have been seeing ever since the Major first release and these stickers actually became tradable is that the prices these players and random people are willing to sell them for on third-party sites as well as the Steam market is much lower than what Valve is selling these things for, so people are taking a loss. But why? We can also see that many teams have been reporting behind the scenes that sticker earnings have fallen well below 2.5 to 3+ times from what they're used to getting from normal capsules, even for the lowest and highest tier teams. And for anyone who knows how expensive it is to run a CS org, how easy it is for, well, many people to go bankrupt, just take a look at the scene over the last 3 years. There's been dozens of teams that have gone bankrupt, exited Counter-Strike, came back in with brand new sponsors that are not really, well, still too friendly with on social media. It's the only way they're actually able to make it. And this sticker revenue also plays a big factor for these guys to keep the lights on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a boatload to break down in today's video, such as Valve's broken shop, their next update, fixing this thing, the future of majors, the future of sales, the 75% off sale, the future of the pro scene, alongside a bunch else. I'd like to give a big thanks to skins.com for sponsoring today's video. Skins.com is a buying and selling marketplace, lets you buy and sell your favorite CS2 items at a 0% fee. And yes, that's right, 0% trading fees. Whatever you sell your skins for is what you're gonna get. When it comes to buying skins, they offer multiple different deposit options, and even more when it comes down to withdrawing. Skins.com has also just launched their pro version of the site, which is the most innovative feature on a skins platform to date. You can have one master account while managing dozens, if not hundreds, of different bots to work trades and place buy orders for you. With a 0% fee, the ability to place buy orders, make instant sales, and trade player to player with amazing prices, I couldn't recommend them enough. Be sure to check them out, links will be at the top of the description. So what firstly caught my eye was obviously the major comeback that we saw with Big Clan against NRG. NRG was obviously up 12-0. They went to halftime. They continued to lose every single round, including overtime, until Big actually won the match. And I think at this point, this probably just puts a nail in the coffin for NA Counter-Strike, but that's kind of besides the point. After that, of course, because of people panicking, because people were like, oh my gosh, Big could win the major, they're so good, I want their sticker. Well, that dynamic pricing came into play for Valve and their shop within CS2. This made the sticker shoot up well above over $2,000, which is past the Steam daily transaction limit. Now, I think this was most likely a glitch just right off the bat, because legally they probably could face some trouble if this was staying like this long term, and obviously it didn't stay like this long term, because if you wanted to buy this sticker then sell it on the Steam market, you weren't able to because of how much it was and the fact that you could only sell $2,000 worth of skins at a time on the Steam market. That's including fees, by the way. And with this, many people have been suggesting this is the worst system Valve has ever released for a major. I'm kind of one to agree, but also whenever people are unboxing capsules, there's a reason people have a storage unit or two of such worthless stickers, it's not even worth it for them to list these things because they're only getting 1 cent on the dollar. I think what's probably going to happen, we're probably not going to see any major updates with the dynamic pricing this time around for the major, but for the next one in 2026, the major changes are probably going to come into play. Now, this is the only sticker to reach above the Steam daily transaction limit. This is probably not going to be the last, and this is also not the first big controversy that we've seen with this update. Why are holos for some team players, for some teams, some orgs, as well as players, $300 to $1,000, $1,200, and then you go into a third-party site or someone wants to do a trade, and they're willing to do it for $30? What is going on? One, I'm questioning why these people want to take a loss, but also what the decision making is behind Valve's pricing in the first place. An argument to this is this actually makes stickers more rare, which yes it does, but that begs the question if there's going to be a sale, because right now it feels like RMR 2020 more than anything else, where people don't see the Cologne Major having a sale, which I think is kind of crazy considering most players, most teams, most orgs, including Valve, make the most amount of money during the 75% off sale. But even with this sticker situation aside, let's now talk about the pro scene and the complications this is having within teams and organizations. And this most recent post from Aussie CS says that Overdrive says their sticker sales from the Cologne Major are very low. Sticker earnings under the new system have fallen 2.5 to 3 times. On one hand, this is certainly bad. It could seriously damage the entire ecosystem for many organizations. Majors were only one way to earn money, and now maintaining clubs have become economically unviable. On the other hand, it will eliminate underperforming teams that are abused in weaker regions. It's good. For an example, the Gaming Gladiators will receive sticker earnings under the new system. And many people don't really know how to feel about this because this kind of just feels like a he said, she said accusation. And they're kind of just pointing at, well, one team individually. But also, this isn't the first time someone has pointed this new system out to be flawed for certain organizations not making enough money. And they actually have a pretty good understanding, but also good point of what this means within the first part where the maintaining clubs have been economically unviable. That makes sense. Those who don't know pretty much why NACS died is you have to maintain a certain amount of money going into ESL to enter the Pro League, so on and so forth. And if you don't have that, you're not really guaranteed a spot. That's kind of what happened and explains the death of NACS. And a lot of these teams use some of that money that goes towards that, but also they use that money from the majors, from the stickers, from the capsules they would normally receive. That goes and pays for players, that pays for their flights, that pays for their hotels, you name it. Now, I've said this in the past, but some of my thoughts about all this is one, Counter-Strike esports is just too expensive, as well as just esports as a whole. There's a lot of people that should not be receiving tens of thousands of dollars a month for being a tier 3 org, tier 3 team, and there'll be nothing more. Because also, what makes you want to strive to be better if you're making such a fat paycheck? I mean, that's just facts. Like, I'm not saying Nico and the Falcons are doing this purposely, but if you're making a comfortable paycheck, they're never going to let you go. What makes you want to do better if you're not going to make any more on a winning team? Like, for real. Like, let's just have a conversation about that. It also comes down to the fact and the idea that there's too many Counter-Strike events throughout the year. Why is there one every single weekend? It's not financially viable, which again is why so many teams come in and out of CS. They retire, they unretire, they come in with a brand new sponsor, such as 100 Thieves as of recently, coming in with a Rubet sponsorship, which pretty much saved their team, but also paid for their entire roster. All I gotta say with this is this could really hurt Counter-Strike if this is true, which it does make sense, because if people are only buying the teams that they want, only buying the players that they want, those teams and players are obviously going to get the most amount of money. Versus prior, Valve would just split everything equally amongst players to a degree. Also too, things are never going to be as big as we saw in Paris, for an example, within CS2, or the very end of CSGO, where there was $100 million in sticker sales. I said it then, and it was no joke that a lot of people came into the scene just because of that sticker money, and then were out after the very first Copenhagen Major within CS2. Because the reality set in that stickers don't always sell well, and it was just a different time. And let me know what you guys think about all this. You guys believe what's happening behind the scenes? Why do you guys think this is happening with Steam with their dynamic pricing within the Cologne Major versus the Steam market? Ladies and gentlemen, stay positive, sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.